Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing? So, cleaning up the kitchen the other night, I was thinking, if I could hire anybody to work for me, I'm not sure who it would be. Who would you hire if you could hire anybody? So, in thinking about this the other night, I was like, would I hire a maid? Our house isn't really dirty, it's just cluttered. It's lived in. It's very lived in, right? Carpenter might be a good thing because there's a lot of things to fix in my house right now. But if I had my way, I wouldn't hire a maid, maybe a couple days a week, but what would she do? Floors? Can't let her touch the bathrooms. Ugh, I live with boys. It's a thing. It's like, what would you do? If I had my way, I would hire a chef, because a chef could cook for me and it would take all the stress of daily thinking what to cook off my plate. Like, wouldn't it be fun? Like, just to have somebody to get up in the morning and have somebody be like, do you want your tea? Or do you want coffee? Do you want orange juice? Do you want an omelet? Do you want oatmeal? Or I made muffins this morning, or and yeah, one of those. They're between certain hours, like 6 to 8, and then lunch is 11 to 1, and supper's 4:30 to 6:30. But lunch is not really a big thing around here. It's usually leftovers or sandwiches, and I can eat sandwiches at any time, or wraps, like a roll wrap. I can eat those anytime. You just vary them, different things. But like, what would you do? Who would you hire? And the never-ending question, what to make for supper, would be solved, because they would cook and everybody would have to eat, and there would be no I don't know meal, which I'm going to figure that out. Like, because my kids always say, what should I make? I don't know. Well, hell, I don't know what that is, and I'm going to plan a meal that's the I don't know meal. Like, it's going to be just something weird, right? So that when they say I don't know, that's what they're getting, and they can eat it. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But it's so hard. It's so hard. My daughter asked me once, how did I do it when I did daycare? Because we actually lived 30 miles from my daycare. So we had to drive, to town, did daycare. I closed at 5:30, which I had to because I didn't live there. You guys, I had to take care of my own kids. And drive the 30 miles home and then cook supper. And I wasn't a planner. I wasn't a prepper. It wasn't like throw something in the crock pot that morning or pull something for supper that night. I wasn't that on top of things. But we got home. I cooked something. We were eating by 6:30. Yeah. So, but they had snacks at daycare. So, it's not like they were starving, but it's still, it's a thing. It's really kind of crazy when you think about it. I don't know how I did it, because I can't do it now. And my life has totally changed, since way back then. So I don't know. And it's not like my kids are really super picky. I mean, they eat the school food, so, well, they sort of eat the school food. Has your food gone downhill? Like, since this whole, we have to pay for our meals, right? And then, during the last few years, the agriculture, whatever, federal thing was paying for the school meals, like all the kids' meals. And then our state voted it down this year. Yeah, they voted it down, so no kids would get free meals. They just want to line their pockets, but whatever. But the food was great when it was being paid for. Like, it was great. The breakfasts were great. My kids were they loved it, And now it's back to spongy eggs and cold chicken nuggets and crap. crap on a stick. And it's just like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, if I pay for it, you should be able to get the same quality food as you did before. Or were you hosing them? Something my state would do. But it's just stupid. It's stupid. And then the rules and regulations for these schools, I don't even know if they can make homemade cinnamon rolls or caramel rolls anymore. Can you? Because of that administration that we won't name names or point fingers that made that impossible and took that away. Even those little tiny schools that have like graduating class of 7. Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. BS. Yeah. Oh, but anyway, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. But it's crazy hard to think of what to make for supper all the time. I have a problem. And if I ask my husband to make supper, like if I'm super busy and working and it's like, can you make supper? It's always the same thing. Sausage, sauerkraut, and fries. Or sausage and potatoes. Or, which is fries. Yeah. My dad did that. When my mom worked, there was a time when my mom was working like a couple days a week. And he would have to be home and cook supper. And it was always the same thing. It was pork chops, fried potatoes, green beans. So if she worked 3 days that week, we had pork chops, baked potato, or fried potatoes, not baked, fried potatoes and green beans every night. Yeah. Funny. It's funny. Yeah, my husband cooks that way. It's sausage all the time. It's like, no, I'll just cook. I'll cook something. Oh, yeah. But I'd hire a chef. I like the chef idea. I do. It's okay to dream, right? It's okay to dream. And if I want to dream that I have a chef that waits on me, hand and foot, hello, brings me coffee and cookies while I'm working, I can dream what I want. It's fine. Anyway, today we are doing another Rebatch soap. It is with titanium dioxide. Now, not enough titanium dioxide, and you will find this out when you rebatch. Sometimes you need to add extra colorants, which with micas can actually change the bubble of your soap. Okay, you had too much, it can, it's a thing. Too much titanium dioxide. I don't know, I haven't hit that point yet, but I probably should have added more. But these are Rebatch. I call it the ET bar. Everything bar. ET bar, because it's got everything in it. It's the scraps, and it's got anything you can possibly put in soap. Anything. Not labeling it. This thing will be labeled as a bare naked soap. Yeah, sometimes it's in this type of case, it's safer just to be like it's an everything bar. It contains everything and anything a bar of soap can contain. It contains oils, botanicals, clays, and powders, and all those things. So if you have no allergies, you can use it. I'm gonna give this to my grandkids. Anyways, this is super long. 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. You are worth it. It's okay to dream that you need a chef. Totally okay. Because I'm doing it. Let's go check out this ET bar. We are rebatching soap pieces. So these are soap pieces that have not been used. They are just basically pieces of soap. Some of them are little edges that just, you couldn't really do anything with. If I might have beveled something at one point. Sometimes my edges are too high. And then when I take it out of the mold, then you have these pieces that come off. Or it's just the end, of whatever. You get what I mean? See, they're just all wonky pieces of soap. Just, I've been saving them. Seriously, saving them for the last, I don't know how many. Oh, it's at least a year. It takes me a while because I don't bevel or cut or, So these are just pieces. I think I ended up with 20 ounces of shavings is what I did in the end because I wasn't sure. I should have just, probably should have did 32. Probably should have did 32 since my mold is 32 ounces, but I just didn't want to have it overflow, you know what I mean? Too much in there. So I just broke the pieces apart and put them in the crock pot, and then wrote down how many shavings I had, because it's so easy to forget. I was doing like 8 things at once, and yeah, that's just me. But okay, so remember I told you need to decide why you're rebatching the soap. And we are not doing it because it's lye heavy. We are not doing it because it's oil heavy. We are doing it because obviously it's pieces, okay? Unused pieces. I did add 4 ounces of water to it right off the bat. This will melt down a lot faster than my chunky stuff because it's all in little pieces. So I set it for 15 minutes and kind of check it, make sure there's enough water. Not that there's enough water, that it's not, it does stick to the sides because my crock pot is, in competition to be the hottest crock pot on the planet, I swear. But see, it really is melting down really, really nicely. And, if you had a 1% bar, like if you made a bar that was 1%, that's what super fat is. It's the extra oil, that isn't used up by the lye. You could probably super fat your 1% or 0% and make it a 5% if you didn't like it, and then in that case you would add oil to this. The problem is yeah, the soap is always an ishy color, and I've seen people do dark blues, dark reds. We're gonna do titanium dioxide, which is one that is not my normal one. It is I think it's from Brambleberry, and it's oil based. Okay, so you really need to watch your titanium dioxide to see how to dilute it. This one is, my main one is water dilution. This one is oil dilution, and I really hate it because it's so hard to dilute. If I had one of those little mini whiskers, whiskers, yeah, whisk, bzz, little battery operated one, that would work really well. This is actually why I switched to my other one, because I hated this. It drove me nuts trying to get that titanium dioxide dissolved in the oil. And I don't know, maybe they've changed it up. Maybe it's water soluble now, but this one is oil soluble. And not fun. But so I am actually, putting a little bit of oil into that batch. And I didn't add any extra water than just the 4 ounces. Some people say add a third of what your soap weighs, add a third of the water. But I just think, take your time and do it. You can always add more. It's really hard to take away, if you know what I mean. I mixed my fragrance oil in with the other oil just because it'd be, easier to incorporate. Yeah, so it's kind of an ishy soap, but it's got everything, right? It's got every oil, every butter, every, if I've infused botanicals, if I've infused teas, if I've, it's got everything in there. So therefore, it's going to be labeled as ET for everything bar, and it's going to just say infused with assorted oils and butters and solutions, like liquids. It could be beer, it could be orange juice. Okay, I've never put orange juice in in one of my soaps yet. But you know what I'm saying? Like it could, it's got everything you could possibly put in a soap. So if you have allergies to certain things, you might not want to use this bar. Also note, I did not use my mixer to combine the soap. I just use my spatula. It's very rough. Um, like I said, it when you rebatch it, a lot of the times it looks like hot process. The only way to get around that would be to do a very small batch of soap, and after you cut it, pour it over the top of it and give it a new top look. But that would totally defeat the purpose of this bar. So there's no need to see pop these. They're not, they're done. They're totally done. Now they just need to lose the weight, the water weight that I added. Um, there should be no soda ash on these because there should be no lye sitting on top anywhere. In reality, that bar of soap has no lye. It's done. It's saponified. It did its thing way back when. And so this is just, it's like a melt and pour in a different light. So there you have it, the ET bar. Smells amazing, you guys. But I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.